OK， 睇下先啊。
Hello, hello. Yes, we are in.
Oh, that's fast. 喂，好快喎你嘅。
唔係第一次好快。
試下睇先。After 隔咗咁多個星期，唔知仲有人記得我哋冇
Oh, Stephanie.
Stephanie 啊，哇 ，Stephanie lucky 喵喵。
It's always the number 1 and 2.
Michelle Mo.
Sure.
Hello, hello. 大家好唔好啊？
OK。
因為咧，我哋好似兩個禮拜冇做咗係嘛？
Hi Sally. Who is that? I can't see.
Stephanie 啦
Hi Sally, Stephanie, lucky 喵喵。
Lucky 喵喵啦。
Hi everyone. 我哋已經冇見大家好耐咗。
師傅最近好忙。
上個星期我都好忙睇 Facebook Live 嘛，所以我就係講，做咩鬼啊 Facebook Live 啦？由星期二晚就睇足成個禮拜。
係應該你擋唔到係嘛？嗰個會一定好勁咗。
係，所以我哋就唔好嘥時間做 Facebook Live， 我自己都要睇 Facebook Live 嘅。OK。Minoru Takai, no, I don't think you miss any because we've been absent for weeks, okay? So I think you just made it like just nice back, okay? So, hi Hui Kun, hi Lady, hi everyone, hi Sharon, okay? Thank you for tuning in. Vivian also tuning in, okay? Hi Vivian. Today you can ask questions. We have like love tarot here. we have true love reading cards. Okay.
Sifu just told me that she also got Kama Sutra also here.
For Vivian. Okay. Well, so many cards and books. Yeah. Okay. But we are not going to use all of them now. Of course, today's focus will be this, that.
Yeah, awakening oracle.
The awakening oracle. So we just wait for a while so that everyone has tuned in. We'll wait until I get back my phone.
其實咧，今日咧，你睇咧，我哋前面就擺咗好多唔同嘅卡啦，有好多 oracle 卡啦，同埋有好多嘅tarot 卡，係啦，塔羅牌啦。咁今日嘅主題咧就係想知道咧，到底佢哋分別係啲咩喎？因為好多人唔明啊，我哋跟師傅學嗰個 tarot 就係塔羅牌學得多啦，但係咧好多時候出邊都有賣啲咁樣唔同嘅 oracle 卡嘅，咁到底佢嘅分別係咩咧？同埋我哋可以點樣去運用咧？咁如果你知道咧，其實師傅咧自己都出咗一本，就係我哋呢個啦 ，The Awakening 呢個係啦 oracle 啦，
睇唔睇到？
係啦，睇到呢本啊，
睇到，好似
係你哋已經賣咗未？咁我哋咧今日就會 focus 上呢度啦，就係講睇下點樣可以去用呢本我哋嘅咁樣嘅 oracle 卡咧，令到我哋嘅 daily life 入邊咧可以更精彩或者係更 improve 嘅，
或者係更清晰。
係啦，更清晰㗎啦。
所以究竟即係塔羅牌同埋嗰個佢哋講叫咩神諭牌？神諭牌有咩唔同咯
？OK， 咁最勁嘅地方咧就係今日咧，我哋師傅已經會 open up 問 questions， 意思話。可能你係 lucky one 嘅話，如果你係好 lucky 嘅話咧，咁你就會被抽中。然之後咧，咁我哋就會幫你解答你嘅問題啦。咁佢點樣去玩咧？咁我哋等陣咧就會同你講噶啦。
係啦 ，OK. So what I won't have actually brief is what I've written down on my Facebook update today. So tonight it's all about tarot versus oracle cards. Alright, I'm sure all of you here have heard about like tarot cards. Okay, probably some of you have heard about like oracle, but maybe some of you have never heard about the word oracle card itself. Okay, so today we are going to talk about like what are the difference between these two systems of like divination cards. Okay, between the tarot and the oracle, and also we will try to actually get some questions answered. Okay, on Facebook Live. Now we have not done this before. Okay, so. We're not sure how it's going to work. Okay, we have definitely done like how to say online reading and all that, but Facebook Live where everybody is watching at the same time, where we have to choose a person, ask the questions, pick a card, and deliver the answer. We have not done it before, so we're gonna try. If it's gonna work, I think probably we can actually do more of this in the future, because I'm sure, right? Okay, a lot of times, a lot of you all have a lot of questions to ask. Okay?
Especially, I think Lucky Mimo says that she wants money.
Any card
Any
for it.
cards.
Then maybe Sifu next time can do a like with money card like a print
money card can. Okay, besides the card we can also do this, these small little things. But I think we need to spread it out into many different episodes 係，
因為有好多唔同嘅種類，又有 love 㗎啦，然之後有好多唔同，譬如話好似
we have animals, we have like Ganesha cards, okay.
有個 Namaste card.
Yeah, we also have the Osset Egyptian Oracle cards. Okay, this is actually like not quite how to say. I would say that it is quite meaningful. It is given by a friend in Singapore. Okay, to Anne, my daughter. Alright, which is very beautiful. It consists of like a lot of like Egyptian gods and goddesses cards, and of course it is also co-produced by a long-time friend of mine, probably past life sisters. Okay, who is also in Singapore. So by Sri Mulyadi, if I'm not mistaken, it's also partly produced by her. Okay, so yeah, this is very beautiful. So of course tonight, right, okay, we cannot cover everything because like all these cards itself, they are like divination purposes, and this is only mainly focuses on, most of them are focused on the Western divination, okay? Because now for the Eastern divination, we also have loads of like, different types of like divination methods and all that as well. So probably, right, this topic, we have to actually do it into like several weeks.
OK， 咁師傅頭先就講啦，因為其實好多個 Oracle card 咧係比較西方啲嘅，所以你會睇到好似好多嗰啲Egyptian啊，或者係一啲同 angel 啊，或者係神啊有關嘅嘢啦，天神啊有關嘅嘢。咁可能咧，因為其實我哋東方咧都有自己一套嗰種占卜嘅一個工具嘅喎，方式嘅喎，所以咧我哋可能呢個咁樣嘅一個 topic 咧，我哋可以分好多唔同嘅集數嚟講㗎啦。
Okay, hi Rebecca. Rebecca is from KK. She's tuning in. Now Rebecca is also currently she's a student. I'm sure some of you have like met her before. Okay, she flew in here for quite a number of like classes and workshops as well. And currently she's already set up her own business in KK. So there are actually a few tarot readers in KK. They are quite active. Okay. I mean, seeing clients and also doing consultations. Okay, there are a few of them. Melissa is doing it. Ellen Chia is doing it. Of course, now Rebecca is also doing it. Okay, and of course there are a few others as well. So in case those of you tuning in from KK itself, in case if you need any consultations, do look them up. Okay. Alright, so
即係話，如果你係響即係西馬嗰度啊，上東馬即係沙巴嗰度嘅話，如果你愛揾人做塔羅讀塔羅
諮詢嘅話咧，咁可能 Rebecca 都可以幫到㗎啦喎。
係 Hi David also from Sabah. Okay, he's from KK. In fact, the other day I was tuning into his Facebook Live. Okay, of course, of our like recent hot topic last week. Okay, thanks for the Facebook Live, David. In fact, right, I've done a YouTube video talking about the Istana. So the other day when you did the Facebook Live of the Istana, I was like, oh, okay, I've been there before. I mean outside. Okay, alright. So
OK， 咁我哋大概開始㗎啦。OK， 咁首先 before 我哋開始嘅時候咧，我想問師傅一個問題啊，因為好多時候咧，人哋會講哇好準啊，點解你可以知道我依家咩心情咩嘢咩 energy， 然之後我 pick 到嗰個卡就係當下我應該要嘅嗰個卡咧，係咩原因咧
？OK， so 你唱識佢英文啦，咁我先 answer 我搞掂。
Okay, so basically Wan is asking, how come some people actually say that tarot is actually so accurate, and then how does the energy connect, and why does this divination actually works?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so now first thing before I answer the questions, right, I of course need to reintroduce both my guests again. This is Ko Yap or Wai Lun, we always call him Wai Lun here, and of course Brian Fu. Now both of them are also doing consultations in both Party, Feng Shui, and of course tarot. Alright, so in case you guys have any questions and all that regarding tarot and divination cards and all that, right, of course you can look for both of them as well. Alright, and you can also see on their personal Facebook page as well, they do actually share a lot of information about tarot, especially so far Wai Lun, but Brian catching up. Okay, right? So you all can also see at their Facebook page and all that as references as well. Okay, so to answer the questions now, how does tarot work? Now, a lot of times, right, from when I started to learn tarot itself, right, okay, that was back in when? There was like quite
Quite
a
some
long time
Quite
ago.
some time.
Okay, so it's like when I first started like learning tarot itself, I remember the first seafood that I officially learned is actually from Hong Kong. Okay, so as you know me, like it's like I connected to Hong Kong seafood first, okay? So even for tarot, even though it's a Western system, I learned it from Hong Kong seafood. And only that subsequently, then I learned from the Western seafoods, right, okay? So now, how does this thing work in the first place? Is like, when I first started learning, right, okay, a lot of people still have very skeptical mindset about tarot. Right, to them, it's like tarot is something like, still very hocus pocus. It is like almost like unexplainable, all right? Because it's like, how can you just pick some random like cartoon card and then you can tell so much about myself? In fact, I was also very surprised when I first have gained interest into tarot in my teenage time. Okay, when in school days, like when I have like pocket money and all that, and I used to grow right in the Central Market, see a temple over there, right? Okay, at the back of it, Central Market, and that time there's this master called Master Chin, and he's actually quite famous at that time. Like have a lot of like columns in like newspaper. I've forgotten exactly which newspaper per se, but yeah, you will see Master Chin's prediction in newspaper and all that. So it's like whenever I have the money, I will just go there and like and ask questions. Ask until my money has run out. I remember like the first basis is 20 ringgit, and any subsequent question you have to ask is 10 ringgit. But don't worry, tonight we are not charging you. Okay? Alright?
It's for free.
So for me, it's like at that time I know how much I have, so I'll ask questions until run out of money, then wait until the next
But
round.
do you actually go every time to ask, or
No, I just find it
or
very
one
interesting.
time and keep asking?
No, because at that time not much money. So it's like I will go and ask probably about like about like teenage. What else to ask? Relationship law. Okay, not that I have one at that time, but normally you don't have. That's why you need to ask. Okay?
But usually a lot of people will ask like, do I have a boyfriend or not? When?
I ask a lot. I ask a lot of silly questions. Right? I ask them like, okay, that guy like me or not? 中唔中意我嘅? And I tell you my first, not my first crush lah. I will say that will be my second crush. The second crush I fell in love, right? Okay, that person already like he has no interest in women. Let's put it that way. Okay? So it's like and I have to spend my money asking Master Chin whether the guy likes me or not. I have not learned face reading at that time. Okay, anyway, so now I always find it very fascinating at that time, like how all these things work, and I've never gotten the answer. To me, it just worked, okay? And then when I grew more interested about it and I learned more about it, right? Actually, there is a lot of like scientific or meta-scientific explanation to it, okay? Because how metaphysics, how tarot card works is because it actually works in our subconscious level. Because we believe that every human being or every living being itself, we are a form of energy. Everything that actually holds the entire universe together is actually a form of energy. So for us as a human being, right, we have energy, and mainly this energy itself, right, we have our conscious energy, we also have our subconscious energy. So that is like how our brain functions. We have a conscious mind, we also have a subconscious mind, okay? Now, tarot works on our subconscious level because our subconscious mind is also deemed as like the most powerful mind comparatively to the conscious, right? Whatever that's inside our subconscious in terms of our Chinese or our all in terms of those of you into Buddhism, right, okay? So our subconscious mind itself knows everything. In fact, right, some studies, in fact, they say that there are a lot of things that are carried in our subconscious mind even from the past life. Okay, there are certain things that you just can't answer. 好多神童, I know from young, like 3 years old, 5 years old, and they like, they are like as if they are expert, into a lot of things that you just cannot explain.
Yeah, they even remember past life.
Yeah, they remember past life and all these things, and all this is actually branched out from the subconscious mind. So how tarot works is, I hope both of you can translate.
你知道我哋每一次都好驚嘅，因為師傅好長氣啊，
好似 newscaster 咁喺度寫緊 notes, okay? So it's like whatever that is in the subconscious mind itself, right, it will affect the general energy of a person. So when you talk about aura, energy level of a person itself, it's mainly governed by our subconscious. We cannot change this energy consciously, okay? We can actually put up a smile, but even let's say if inside us we are like in sadness and all these things, right, we can fake up a smile, but our energy level won't change. We are still in the level of sadness. So when tarot cards come to play, right, okay, when we ask a person to pick a card randomly, when they cannot see the detailings of the card, because once you see the detailing, you can use your conscious mind to actually choose the card that you like, because every picture itself chances is you know what it means. But when you can't see the cards, when it's like upside down, when you can't see them, right, when you randomly pick, there's no such thing as coincidence in life. I believe when you randomly pick, right, our subconscious and our body energy itself, right, will lead us to the card that resonates the same as us. This is where we say what birds of a feather flocks together. The people of the same energy, they always, or that same energy always, connect to each other. Okay, so when our body, our subconscious, our energy level is at a certain level of emotion, we will go and reach out for cards that also depict that particular level of emotion. So when you pick up the card, that's when, as a reader, when we read the card, we actually know what's going on in your subconscious mind. I hope that answers.
OK， 咁其實咧，師傅頭先就講啦，其實無論呢啲好似塔羅牌又好啦，Oracle card 又好啦，其實係好科學嘅一個根據嚟嘅。點解咧？因為其實咧，喺我哋嘅人咧，因為我哋係 talk about energy talk 嘅，所以我哋成個人嘅氣場能量咧，會改變或者係 attract 到一啲同我哋類似嘅一啲事物㗎。特別好似我哋嘅 card 啦，如果你會揀你開心嘅話，你就會揀到一啲開心嘅 card；你傷心嘅話咧，你就會揀到一啲傷心嘅 card 啦。點解咧？因為人咧本身咧係一個我哋叫有潛意識同埋意識同埋潛意識㗎啦，所以係分兩橛㗎。咁其實好多時候咧，如果我哋睇到、我哋知道、我哋聽到嘅話咧，通常係同我哋嘅意識嘅呢個頭腦咧係諗㗎啦。但係好似有啲嘢我哋唔知道嘅，或者睇唔到嘅，其實我哋係用緊我哋嘅潛意識去做緊呢件事。係，因為我哋分析唔到嗰個信號嘅，
即係好多時候一件事發生咗之後咧，我哋其實唔覺嘅。But the thing is， 佢自然係會嗰個能量係已經係收響我哋嘅潛意識入邊。係啦，
其實好多時候咧，就好似我哋雖然我哋感覺上面我哋知道，好似好平靜咁樣樣，但係心入邊好似有啲嘢嘅，咁硬係有啲嘢嘅。嗰個咧就係我哋嘅潛意識啦。係啦，所以為我哋嚟到睇牌嘅時候咧，就有呢個咁樣嘅一個形象啦，就係譬如好似而家點解我哋會揀到一樣同我哋嘅 energy 會一樣嘅牌咧？係因為咧，我哋開牌嘅時候咧，其實係全部揀牌嘅時候咧係冚住㗎嘛，你睇唔到啊嘛，
所以好似咁樣
係啦，你睇唔到，所以我就係呢個係睇到，
所以係睇到嘅。通常你睇到咧，你會睇到啲牌咧，你可以用意識去定斷啊，即係話邊啲個牌會係比較中意啲啊、開心啲啊，邊啲牌係會比較唔開心嘅。Means that when you can see the card, you can consciously choose the cards that you like. But let's say when we let you choose the cards when it is like reverse like this, you couldn't see what is the content of the card. So that is when you would think that you randomly choose. But when you randomly choose, you are actually governed, or I would say not governed, guided by your subconscious. Okay, so you are guided by your subconscious to choose the card that you choose.
It means the energy wavelength from you and to the card is actually connected.
係啦，就係譬如話好似我哋頭先講嘅啦，因為你睇唔到啊，所以你就用你嘅潛意識去揀呢樣嘢啦。所以 even though 你嘅表面上面係開心嘅，但係你笑住嘅，但係咧你內心係唔開心嘅話，或者傷心嘅話咧，咁你揀到啲 card 咧，通常就會 connect to 你嘅潛意識㗎啦，因為你睇唔到，你都唔知嘅。咁點解好多時候咧，我哋會覺得哇，呢個塔羅牌師啊，或者呢個 reader 好厲害啊？其實唔係嘅 reader 好厲害，係你自己本身咧好厲害，揀咗啲同你 connect 嘅 card 啦。
Okay. Yeah, so what actually Brandon says is like at the end of the day, we are all reading your subconscious because when the cards is depicted out on the table in front of us, right, okay, we are seeing exactly what's happening in your subconscious mind, alright? So through there, we can actually like analyze your current situation, and from your current situation itself, we can predict, okay, your outcome based on your current situation. So always remember, the outcome of the card, spread of the card itself, right, it not necessarily needs to happen that way, okay? Whatever the outcome is, let's say if it's a positive outcome and you like the outcome, then you can continue working on what you have been doing now, continue on the path, and the outcome will be the positive outcome that you like. But example, if you got a spread of card that the outcome itself is negative, it's not something that you like, it's not something that you will want to see it happening in the near future. Of course, there are ways for you to change the outcome. The ways is actually by changing your current present. Because every spread of card, when we look into the cards itself, right, there are certain hindrances, obstacles. What are the things that is actually like, pushing you towards that direction? So if you don't like the outcome, you just have to change your direction, change your action, change your decision, and therefore you will have a different outcome. So always remember, whatever the card depicts out at the outcome level, it's not carved on stone. It is not prefixed. It's always a way for us to change it.
啱啦，因為咧好多時候師傅日日都講噶啦，天時地利人和啊嘛。你知道咗呢個咁樣嘅 outcome 咗之後咧，咁你應該點樣去做，同埋係點樣去 prevent 咧，先係最重要嘅。因為個 outcome 咧唔係 fix 死嘅，係我哋可以去改變㗎。點解我哋要睇牌咧？就係因為我哋想知道，可能會遇到啲咩事，或者有咩嘢會發生，咁我哋可以用咩嘢去 prevent？ 呢個係我哋睇牌最正確嘅一個心態嚟。
或者係好多時候我哋開牌嘅時候咧，當我哋開牌嘅時候，佢一定有啲牌你係中意聽到嘅信息嘅，有啲係你真係唔想聽到個信息嘅。所以我哋開牌嘅時候咧，我哋係基本上我哋係讀你嘅潛意識係可以點，或者係你可以做啲咩嘢去改變。如果你真係唔想去改嘅話，咁嗰個牌都係咁樣㗎啦。
係啦，你睇嚟都冇用。因為其實咧好多時候我 client 或者有人俾我睇嘅時候咧，佢哋有一個好特別嘅一個心態嘅，你淨係想知道個 outcome 嘅啫。佢通常佢就會問啦，我會唔會揾到工啦，或者我會唔會有錢啦，或者咩？其實係咪問題係咪都有一個方式嘅咧？
問問題 of course is okay. Translate.
So basically, when we got a lot of clients come to us and they wanted to ask a question, a lot of times they just ask, what is outcome? Is it a yes or a no? Can I change my job? Can I get into this relationship? Can I get married or not? Is there actually a way to ask a question when we seek consults?
Yeah, of course it's very, very important, right? The way for us to actually ask the questions. Like normally, right, okay, now, during the classes itself, we always tell like our students, okay, that we do not encourage clients to actually ask yes or no questions. Remember, this divination tool, tarot cards or even oracle cards, right? These are just tools to actually guide us, to help us to be better, to discover what are the things that we need to improve on, what are the things that we need to change in our life itself so that we can now lead a better life. Now, when we ask yes, no question, yes, no questions means, right, can I get a job? Or will I get married? Okay, will I be successful? So when you ask questions like this, right, it means that you are only opening up to a possibilities of yes or no. So when you ask questions like this, right, it means that you are not taking charge of your life. Okay, remember when you ask, right, oh, can I get a job? Or will I be successful? It means that you are actually like, giving away, you are depending on the fate of the outcome of the card. It means you are not taking charge of the responsibility of your life, because if you are, you won't ask, will I be successful? You will ask, how can I be successful? Because only when you ask how, or what are the ways, okay, for me to be successful. Now, only when you ask questions like this, right, this is what we call a productive or a progressive questions. Then only you will get productive or progressive answers to guide you along in your life. Alright, so that's why we do not encourage people to ask yes or no questions. Like, will I get this man to be my husband? Okay, or will I get this girl to be my wife? Okay, that's a yes or no questions. Okay, so there are no proper strategies of planning, or there's no growth or learning process in the answer. So that's why we do not encourage that.
好啦，就係
等下先啦。Sasa 講就可能嗰個 camera 有少少遠啊，所以我哋可以大聲啲。
OK， 咁其實咧，我哋睇牌嘅時候咧，通常咧我哋就唔建議問一個 yes or no 嘅一個 questions 㗎啦。譬如話好似我會唔會同呢個男仔拍拖啊，或者係我會唔會揾到呢份工啊，或者係我會唔會得到呢筆錢啊？因為咧，如果你問一個 yes or no 嘅 questions 嘅時候咧，就代表咗其實你係 depends 緊呢個 card 嚟俾你知道呢個 answer 嘅。咁你自己本身咧就冇去 proactive 去。諗住我去點樣做先可以揾到呢樣嘢，或者係得到呢樣嘢。即係
其實都唔夠主動性啊！你都唔打算去做，或者係你
想知道嘅，
你係想知嘅啫。
就係所謂認命啊！即係你講認命，我認命㗎啦，得唔得到啊？得到就得到，得唔到算啦咁樣樣。所以我成日都講一句嘢嘅，命要信，但係唔好認命。
啱啦。
OK。
點解咧？譬如話好似如果你想追呢個男人嘅話咧，或者係得到呢個男仔嘅話咧，你應該問嘅問題係：我可以點得到呢個男人？係啦，你可以做啲乜嘢，或者係你去用啲咩方法嚟得到呢個男人？咁樣嘅問題咧係比較適合啲。
或者係同呢個男人係咪真係有結果嘅，或者係好唔好嘅，即係後邊之後。
嗱，呢個就係個 yes or no
㗎啦喎。
係咪啊？
唔可以問 yes no 嘅，係咪？即係有唔有 有結果嘅話咧，其實分開都係個結果嚟㗎。
係
係咪先？
係啊
結束都係一個結果，所以好多嘢嚟講咧，記得即係一個感情唔一定要係天長地久嘅，OK？咁好多時係咧，就係個結果就係咧喺呢一個感情入邊咧，我覺得係有唔有成長嘅機會，即係大家係咪真係會因為呢一段感情嚟去成長嘅？咁其實你哋大家嗰度有邊一個係唔識聽廣東話嘅？
師傅又想轉翻廣東話啦。
你辛苦嚟講廣東話講得咁好嘅咩？如果你哋冇人反對我哋繼續講廣東話，不如我哋繼續講。Any one of you do not understand Cantonese? Okay, do you all need English? Alright, if like none of you actually need English, might as well we just continue the whole session in Cantonese. It will be easier and it will be faster. We can cover more things.
Yeah，
Okay?
因為大家好咩啊
Oh, okay.
？Cantonese 啊，
Okay. All right. So Sasa, in case if you still can't hear us clearly, all right, please let us know because we have actually moved the camera nearer. If you can see, suddenly like become like even bigger. Okay. All right. And other than that, also we also try to actually speak up. Okay. All right. So
just now we were all talking about tarot, but how about oracle card? So what is actually oracle card all about?
因為我知道咧，我自己聽過㗎啦。Oracle card 係譬如話好似俾你一個 guidance，或者係你有啲咩唔明白，有啲lost 嘅時候咧，咁你就抽一張嚟睇下，今日佢俾咗咩 hints 你啦，係咪咁樣嘅嘢咧？
嗱，一般嚟講。英文好定係中文好啦
？Cantonese 嘛，好多人講。
Cantonese 啊 ，No one asking for English, right? I think some friends here prefer English. Now Stephanie 係我哋嘅 Facebook Live 入邊嘅家姐嚟嘅 ，okay, right? We can actually like put Stephanie as a leader of like the Facebook Live viewers already. Okay, since she said that some of them needs English, we will then continue on with English. Okay. So what they were asking is like, what was the question already?
Just now we were talking about tarot.
What is the
difference? Okay, the difference between the tarot and oracle. Okay, now, so when you look at like tarot cards right now, the difference between tarot cards and oracle decks or reading cards, okay? Now, tarot and oracle decks both also is a part of oracle. Tarot is also a part of oracle, okay? It's just named as a tarot because oracle means that it is something that gives you some messages in life. It gives you answers, it gives you messages. It's like a way that the divine or the universe is trying to communicate with you. It means that, let's say if you want to communicate with the divine and all that, right, they cannot basically talk to you. So they have to go through a certain form of tools in order to pass the message over. Okay, so the cards is actually a form of tools for the Western people to get connected with their angels or the divines, okay, or the gods or the goddesses, okay. Whereas the Chinese itself, they will use different types of tools like like Kao Tim or the Yiking and all these things. Now, these tools itself give us an answer is all called oracles. But under these oracles itself, right, we have oracle cards and then we come up with a system of tarot card. So what's the difference between this? Now, tarot cards normally it comprises about 78 cards. Sometimes some of the deck we have like 79 cards, like the Tao Oracle you have 79 cards. Some even come up to 80 cards. That is tarot, okay? Now, tarot cards itself has structure. It has a system. It means that it has that 4 suits, okay? All the 4 different, elements, okay? You have also what we call major arcana and also minor arcana. There are system to it, there are structures to it, there are more rules to it. When you do the cards itself, right, there are more rules and regulations, okay? And then of course, the tarot also gives us more detail, in-depth detail, into the minor little things, okay? Whereas oracle itself, right, it gives us an overall picture, all right? Overall picture as in like, okay, what is it in your life now that is bothering you? One big picture, right? For example, like, okay, oracle card is like a, how to say, it's like the food you eat, the dishes that you eat. Like oracle card is like, now today I'm eating curry noodle. Okay, yeah, we just ate curry noodle. Right? Okay, tonight we ate curry noodle. That is oracle. So you know what is it for dinner tonight? Curry noodle. But out of this curry noodle, inside you have a lot of ingredients, You have mihun, you have meat, you have pork skin, you have cockroach, okay? You have tofu pork, okay? Now all these minor details is the tarot details. Means the tarot tells you
complex.
Yeah, complex. It's more detailed. It's more things inside there to tells you now your path in life is this big picture, okay? But what is it that's causing you at this particular path? That can be told in the tarot system, okay? It's a very very small details things.
OK， 咁其實咧，Oracle card，I mean tarot card 咧，其實都係 part of Oracle card 入邊嘅一個
即係分出嚟嘅咯。
係啦，分出嚟㗎啦。
即係一個大 it's like a big family. Just like for instance, okay, champagne is part of sparkling wine. So those of you who love wines, you will know what I'm talking about lah. Champagne is actually part of sparkling wine, but not all sparkling wines are
Can be
champagne.
champagne.
Yeah, okay. So these are the difference.
因為咧，其實好多人咧，我哋用 Oracle 咧，其實係攞嚟，譬如話好似向外 connect 係啦 ，connect 住我哋嘅神明啊，我哋嘅 angel 啊，同埋一啲 energy 嚟俾我哋一個 guidance 嘅。OK， 但係咧。Tarot card 咧有咩唔同咧？就係因為 Tarot card 嘅 structure 咧會比較 complex 啲，會比較複雜啲。咁佢一定係有78張嚟組成啦。佢有 major arcana 就係大牌同埋細牌啦。咁樣嘅嘢咧，佢俾你嘅一啲 information 就會更加嘅 details 㗎咯。OK， 反而 Oracle card 咧就係譬如話好似你有一啲咩嘢唔明白啊，或者有啲咩嘢想去攞到 guidance 嘅時候咧，係啦，你抽一個顯示或者一個 message from the God 又好 ，from the angel 又好。等之後咧，俾你知道我點樣去行呢個路啦。
Yeah, and when we mention about like God's divinity or angels, that is depending on your own religion. It's like it really doesn't matter what religion you're in. But let's say that is on the religious things. But let's say if you want to take tarot system or oracle system on a non-religious basis, right? All these things actually is working within our own subconscious mind. Now, right? Whether there's really a play of God or whatsoever, that's a questionable thing. Okay. But one thing for sure is whenever we take the cards itself, right? Okay, it is something that we are relating to deep within us, within our subconscious. It means that whatever angels or whatever goddess or whatever god that we're talking about is also part within us.
So in a way, it's just like the mother nature or the mother earth. There's a message that they want to tell us, but a lot of times that we don't understand or we cannot see it. So oracle will be like tools for all this energy to actually pass the message to us.
啱啦。咁好多時候咧，係啦，因為咧其實無論你係自己本身係乜嘢宗教都好啦。咁譬如話好似有啲人咧係
完全冇宗教，
係冇宗教嘅，或者你係基督教啊，或者係我哋叫咩佛教啊又好。因為其實 Oracle card 咧有好多唔同嘅種類嘅，譬如話好似有 angel 啦，咁東方嘅咧都有觀音嘅啦，好似師傅爺爺都會有嗰個觀音嘅 Oracle card。觀音嘅喺度㗎，係咪？係啦，
前面
係啦，所以咧其實無論你係咩宗教都好啦，其實佢都 works for you 嘅。點解咧？其實 come back to 我哋最終咧，其實我哋自己本身咧 ，I mean the God is inside us, within us, okay? So you seek the answer from yourself， 因為 you need to answer your inner self and also 你嘅 subconscious mind.
Yeah, so whatever that comes out, the answer is actually from our subconscious mind itself. Okay, so basically, have you answered all about like what's tarot, what's oracle? Have you answered them? Is it sufficient, or can we start taking questions? Because I can already see that people asking questions already. JHD already asking a very detailed question. He actually asked like, I want to start a business. How can I find ways to get the capital, noblemen, mentors, and guidance?
咪因為咧，我俾佢哋睇下邊個係可以問問題㗎嘛，啱唔啱？我哋要揀㗎嘛。
It's like very fast 嘛。One thing is actually JHD actually asked these questions, right? It's a very detailed questions itself. Now today I want to actually introduce to, of course, my own deck, which is the Awakening Oracle. Of course, a brief introduction about this oracle first, okay? Now this oracle deck is actually co-produced between myself and also the artwork by Asking Yap. Okay, Asking Yap, I think just now she's online, okay, somewhere there watching. She's in Taiwan currently, okay? Now, it's quite amazing. I won't say coincidence that I happen to find her, because I believe that everything happens for a reason, okay? So I remember many years ago, like I wanted to actually come up with a oracle deck, okay? And at that time itself, I'm looking for an illustrator, means an artist, okay? That I can feel her work, okay? Right, and I was looking around, and then of course, one fine day I was having lunch with Ko or Wailun over here, and we were like talking about it, and I just asked him whether, because he's a very artistic person himself, so I asked him, do you actually know someone who can draw very well? Because I said I want to actually look for an artist to produce an oracle deck. Then he actually introduced me, oh, actually my sister is quite good, he's very humble one. He says, she's quite good lah, but I'm not sure whether she's
Up to the
good
standard.
enough for your standard. I said, okay then, do you have any of her art piece that can you show me? Alright, then he like starts scrolling down his Facebook and all that. I'm not sure he go into the sister's Facebook or his own Facebook. He was looking through, and then after that, he showed me this photo on Facebook at that time lah, okay, this photo. And the first moment, okay. Now, this is also the photo that I've made as the cover of the whole deck, okay. And when I first saw this photo itself, I tell you, it's like my goosebumps, like starting to raise and all that. I was like, I want to meet her. She is the person. Because it's like, I'm looking for a person where it can tell a story in her art piece, okay? And of course, my little sister was like, she's not there, but when I see this, I was like, oh my God, she's so good, okay? She is so good. And then at that time, how old is she? She's very, very young. Or not even 20 maybe, okay? She's very, very young, and she's very, very good. So of course, the rest is history. We ask her out, we talk, and after that, yeah, the whole oracle deck has been produced, okay? So why don't you, and Wailun also of course plays
20,
a very
she said
important
20.
20, not 19 man. Okay, so legal age, alright? So it's like, okay, Wailun, why don't you actually tell us more about the oracle deck? Because Wailun actually plays a very important role into producing the whole deck as well.
OK 其實咧好似師傅講㗎啦，因為我哋一次開食嘢嘅時候咧，食 lunch 嘅時候咧，佢就問我，佢其實佢同我講佢想出一副 oracle deck。OK 佢就話佢去到廣州睇咗好多片又好咩都好，佢講佢都揾唔到，因為佢覺得好 template 啫。OK 咁佢就問我係啦，佢就問我你有冇識人可以識畫畫嘅？咁好似頭先師傅講啦，咁我就講我妹係artist 嚟嘅，咁我就俾佢睇咗其中一副啦，就係
即係畫家嚟嘅咯喎。
佢都讀緊書嘅嗰陣時，係啦，咁就俾咗佢睇呢副畫啦。咁師傅咁啱佢有比賽啊嘛，喺羅仔府係比賽。頭先我話一睇嘅時候，佢就講起個雞皮啦。咁佢就講一定我去搣佢。其實師傅揾我嘅時候咧，因為師傅講叫我幫佢寫嘅 Chinese 嘅 description 啊嘛。其實我寫嘅時候，我同你講。我真係 go through 咗一個好嗰個我哋叫好大嘅一個波浪嘅心情波動嘅，因為你知道師傅呢本嘢咧係叫 The Awakening Oracle。OK 點解咧？佢係好黑暗，係啦，因為咧我等陣由師傅嚟講點解佢會覺得黑暗啊？因為我每寫嘅時候咧，我一直係 reflect 翻好多我一啲好內心嘅一種心情啦。譬如話好似佢入邊有啲乜嘢，譬如話好似我哋叫咩 intimacy 啦、jealousy 啦，又你 inner fear 啦。通常咧，你睇我哋 oracle card 市面上嘅 oracle card 咧，都會係比較happy 同你講happiness 或者係咩嘢 positive and so on， 俾你一啲好多嘅正能量㗎啦。但係師傅呢個咧會同你講好多內心你恐懼嘅嘢。咁師傅要唔要解釋一下
？Now, actually, the Awakened Oracle now. At first, right, when I first come up with the title, to be very, very honest, I didn't think of the short form or the initials of the title will add up to a Tao, okay? Because when I think of like the Awakened Oracle, because of this card itself, okay, this particular deck itself is like a deck to actually help people to break through, right? That's why this is made as how to say at the cover, okay, to break through from where they are now.
To reborn.
Actually, this is a baby reborn from the petals.
Okay, so it's like a breakthrough. It's about growing out from your current situations, to break through from your current stagnations or current status.
I think nowadays everyone can relate to reborn.
Right, breakthrough. Okay, so it's like this card itself is something to like look deeper into a person's subconscious, as in like, because I find that a lot of times people like to live in denial. Okay, we like to see things as in like a lot of emotions, right? We deem emotions as negative. We deem emotions as jealousy, sexuality, even sometimes like having high sexual need and all that. People think it's wrong. Okay, people think that jealousy is bad. People think that anger is bad. Only happiness is good. Okay, only joy is good. So a lot of people still think that emotions itself that's like too extreme. It's like it's either good emotions or bad emotions, and people tend to want to look into the good side of things, the bright side of things, or they pretend that are always at the good equation side of things, okay? And they deny all the negative sides of things. It means that when they are really sad, they will still want to, okay? They still want to actually think that, no, I'm not sad, it's okay, I'm happy, I'm good, okay? Everything is good, okay? So because of this itself right now, this card is actually created in the sense that, of course my view is like hopefully everyone at least will own a deck at home. This is like your 守護神啊. No, this is like something that you can put at home. So whenever you are down or whatever you feel something with your emotions, you are not sure what is it or whatever, you just pick a card and see what is the message of the card is telling you, right? What sort of feelings that is like evolving around you or inside you at that moment, and what is the meaning and what can you do in order to actually break through from it. Okay, so this card itself is always about bringing you to look into your dark side. And I can tell you, ever since the launch of this card, we have done numerous of events, tarot events and all these things, right? Now a lot of people, when they start looking into this card or getting a consultation with this card, right, a lot of them actually cry in public. Why? Okay, actually a lot of them, because of the card itself, right, when we start talking to them and all that, they actually cried in public where everyone else is watching, because it's so, they felt suddenly they're so in touch with their own emotions that they want to release or let go of certain emotions that's been trapped inside them. So in other words, this card is actually for those who has always been living in denial, right? It is good for us to actually look at our darker side. Okay, because every time when we look on the good side of things, right, we've forgotten that there are things that we can improve on. So it's only important for us to look at the darker side to see why we feel the way we feel, why we actually react the way we react, what is the cause of it, and how can we improve on it. So that's the purpose of the deck.
係啦 ，Stephanie 其實就講啦，佢之前咧就比較少用呢個Oracle card 啦，但係咧最近咧佢發現咧，如果佢幫佢嘅 client 做嘅時候咧，佢好容易 touch 到同埋好 trigger 到佢哋內心嘅一種世界嘅。OK， 其實係真嘅，因為咧市面上咧我哋講咗好多好 positive 俾你好多 positive energy 嘅一種 Oracle deck。OK， 但係其實我哋亦都講過嘅就係我哋要陰同陽咧要 balance 嘅，我係平衡嘅。如果你一直追求好多 positive 嘅嘢而忘記或者 deny 咗，去逃避咗你唔開心或者係嗰啲傷心嘅嘢咧，其實呢個唔係一個好嘅 energy 嚟嘅，我哋叫唔 balance 嘅一個 energy 嘅，所以
即係好多時候好。即係喺嗰度否認咯，
係啦，啱啦，
即係又唔肯面對現實咁樣啦，即係淨係睇好嘅一面，等自己唔肯去發覺自己嘅即係黑暗嘅嗰一面啦。係啦，
所以師傅咧就希望咧大家如果可以嘅話咧，就擁有一本咧，或者係一個呢個就 Awakening Oracle 係啦一副啦 ，so 你可以咧有啲咩問題又好，幫你嘅 client 去做嘅時候咧。你都好容易去relieve 翻你自己嘅嗰個內心嘅世界，而俾到你自己一個答案嘅。OK， 我自己本身咧其實最中意嘅咧係呢張嘅。
其實我都好中意嗰張。
係啊，嗱你睇啦，佢個 title 叫 Love。OK Love， 但係你有冇睇到佢？如果你發現咧，呢個女仔咧其實係好depress 下嘅，因為佢咧冚住咗佢自己嘅眼啦，同埋佢 nakedly 啦，so 其實佢嘅
睇耐啲無名，我哋就睇唔到。
係啦，
你繼續講。
係啦，嘅意義咧其實係對我嚟講係比較重大嘅，因為其實咧好多人咧我哋係 deny in 啊，我哋以為我哋愛對方啦，我哋付出咗好多啦，我哋為佢做好多嘢啦，其實我哋忘記咗，其實冇愛到我哋自己嘅。
即係精華師傅都有講到咯，好多時候咧，我哋會覺得即係妒忌心啊，或者係即係你發火啊咁樣嘅時候咧，其實我哋就係覺得佢哋係一個唔好嘅，但佢都有好多時候都有好嘅一面嘅，即係你點解要發火先？所以呢個 deck 咧，呢個 card 咧就可以幫到你睇點解你會。即係有呢個妒忌，
即係情緒上，即係喺心入邊嘅，其實有啲咩問題導致到咁嘅 outcome 啦。
係啦，咁我哋都要提一提啦，因為咧師傅呢個 deck 咧其實真係好值好抵㗎。點解？真係嘅。
Yes, we are selling。
點解？因為咧師傅其實入邊咧係有一隻水晶㗎。I mean 總共有6種唔同嘅水晶啦。咁我就睇你自己嘅 energy 或者個 luck 係揀咗乜嘢嘢啦，係邊一款嘅嗰個水晶。
Because I also don't know what is actually like inside each of the deck
So
itself.
嗰個係應該係粉紅色嘅，應該係白色嘅。
So each of this deck itself is okay. It comes with a piece of like crystals, okay. And this natural crystals itself, altogether there are 6 different types of crystals, okay. And we randomly put into the deck of cards before we actually sealed it. So I couldn't tell actually like know which deck has a content of like which type of crystal, and that is also a form of divination. So when you actually choose the deck itself, right, and when you choose it, you can't see what is actually inside. Okay, when you choose the card itself, there's a page on the description book at the back, right, to tells you when you have chosen a card that comes with different crystals, it also tells you a different things or energy about yourself at this current moment. Okay, because the crystals itself, of course, we comprises of like we have the red agate. The red agate itself, which is like red color. We also have amethyst, which is purple color. We have aventurine, which is a green color. We have clear quartz, which is like
white,
this. Okay, there's a white one. We have of course pink color, which is rose quartz, and also we have tiger eye, which is like golden brown stripe colors. Okay, so that is also another form of divination. But of course, without further ado, right, I think we should actually ask like how much? Thank you, Jessie. I've forgotten about that. Okay, now this deck itself is selling outside for $129.90. Okay, but today we are going to do a promotion. Promotion means those of you who go to my how to event and all that, right? We know during event we have an event price of 88 ringgit. So for today itself, right, not only tonight, like you can actually within this 1 week itself, now you can contact my assistant Tracy. You can send an email to contact@soleiltrinity.com. We will share all these details there with you. All right. You can also call us or call our office, okay, to actually buy a deck. Now you have to go into Mid Valley office itself to collect it. Now once you have bought it, right, okay, we will register you into a closed Facebook group, okay, right? Because once you have actually bought it and register yourself, we will include you to a closed Facebook group itself, where we will fix a date, okay, in the upcoming few weeks. Hopefully we can find a date. Daytime itself, we will give a thorough tutorial, okay, to teach you how to use the deck. Okay, how to use the deck, and of course there are deeper meaning into each of the cards. Besides just looking at the description, there are much more deeper meaning into the card itself. So we will create a closed Facebook group itself for those who have purchased the deck, so that on that day itself we can actually do a tutorial together. We will teach you, because as far as I'm concerned nowadays, right, closed Facebook group, we can even invite you to get on the Facebook Live. Okay, you can get on Facebook Live to do interactions. So if you're interested, please actually call us or email us to do the booking with Tracy. But you do have to go to our office in Mid Valley to do your own collection. Okay.
So I think that answer Jennifer and Wei Lun's question regarding the oracle cards.
啱啦，如果呢個禮拜，I mean 今日咧到下個禮拜咧，你買呢個 oracle card 嘅話，咁你就會有呢個 promo 嘅 price 啦，which is 88 ringgit。咁我哋 original price 係
129.99。
係啦，啱啦。所以今日咧就係88蚊嘅。咁我哋會做啲咩咧？就係師傅咧會 open 一個 private group。Once 你係買咗嘅話咧，咁我哋就會 invite you into a private group。then 開始就會教你點樣去用呢個 deck 㗎啦。
Yeah, okay. And of course, Wei Lun was actually asking, do you conduct any class on Oracle or Tarot? Now, I will suggest you, Wei Lun, as a beginner, like, okay, don't think about considering going to a tarot class first, because that is more costly and more expensive, okay? Do actually take this promotion with the Oracle card and see how far can you go from that. Trust me, even with just a deck of Oracle, you can actually start helping other people, including yourself, okay, to transform people's life, okay? You can actually like probably self-find like sila, small angpao or whatever. It is still doable, okay? I would suggest you get this promotion, which is 88 ringgit, get it, get into the Facebook group, and then we will give you the tutorial on Facebook Live itself in the closed group, that you can ask questions and do interactions, okay? So, and I think other than that, of course, also I want to actually ask now, only those of you, if you really think that you do have like something that's been bothering you inside, some emotions or some deep thoughts, okay, that's like bothering you inside. If you really want to ask certain questions or whatsoever, probably now you can actually ask us. Now I know JHD, you have asked a very detailed question, okay? Now that detailed questions by using the Oracle card deck alone is not sufficient, okay? That one really needs a full tarot reading, all right? So what I want now is like those of you who wants to look into your own emotions, okay? What is it exactly in your current situations now that could be a hindrance, all right, to you? It can be good, it can be not so positive. So what are the things that you have to look into in order for you to grow to the next level? If you have that and you would want to actually ask the questions, please comment onto our Facebook page now.
OK， so Stephanie 已經係放咗我哋嘅嗰個contact 啦，阿 Tracy 嘅 handphone number 上咗去㗎啦。所以如果你愛訂嘅話咧，你可以WhatsApp 阿 Tracy， 你俾阿 Tracy 知道你係愛呢個 deck 㗎啦。或者係
Yes, Mitra, you can actually pay and collect it when you attend your party class end of this month. Yes, you can. Alright, so any one of you who would want to actually ask questions regarding this, probably I'll pass the deck to Wai Lun first. If you really want to try it out, you want to ask that, we can actually do a virtual reading for you now. Alright, so I mean for
maybe
JHK,
我哋睇下我點樣去問呢個問題，揀呢個lucky 嘅 winner 好唔好？
或者我哋先講下咯。如果你真係有啲問題，
邊個頭一個上嚟咪揀邊個咯？
自己位
唔係
已經係頭一個喎。
咁快咩？我哋正話都未問，即係而家如果
而家開始啦嚇。
OK，
嗱，不如咁樣
I
啦。
want a reading please。
我哋不如咁樣啦。頭先我哋有講到呢本 Oracle card 咧，咁佢嘅 price 係咩嘢啊嘛？咁佢 original price 同埋after 嘅 promotion price， 你哋第一個寫出嚟嘅話咧，咁我哋就揀佢好唔好？
哦 ，OK，都得嘅。咁佢哋話
嚟3、2、1，快啲寫喎。
I want a reading 咁就可以。
咁 to be fair to everyone 嘛，啱唔啱？如果佢有聽課嘅話，咁我哋係咪我俾佢咧
Yeah, all right, okay. So who？
睇下邊個先啊？
嚟啦！
唔係呢啲全部係 questions 啫。
questions 喎。
No 啦，I think 我哋盡量去 answer 佢哋 questions 啦，因為我都好想去 answer 佢哋個 questions 啦。OK，呢個係 Christina's teen。Hi, currently I'm struggle and losing my passion in my work. I'm not sure it is because I have really lose interest in my work or is it because due to management in company. Thank you. Okay, let's try. 話 Stephanie 啦
Stephanie 等可以啦
Stephanie 你肯定可以問啦 OK
嗱不如我哋叫 Christina
Christina's if you are still online with us now right okay we need you to actually help us actually can we invite her to go on live can we actually invite Christina to go on live is it possible
I think so
just try and see whether it's possible yeah right Christina are you still online if you are please can you please like reply us there Go video. Yeah. Christina, if you're online.
I need to search though.
Yeah. Search on top. Can you search on top?
I can't. I think.
Okay, Christina, if you're still online, okay, can you please like reply us?
I think it's this
one. 個頭好大。
應該係呢度嚟㗎。
Christina's with a
Z.
Z.
Yeah.
Christina's tin. Is she there? Because we're still, sorry, bear with us, we are still trying to actually work with all these like gadgets, Facebook Live thing, okay? Because it's really possible for us to actually invite you to go on live. I think it will be a very good thing to do. Seems like I can't find your name there, Christina's. Probably you are no longer online anymore. And
maybe we'll just proceed with Stephanie.
Stephanie, okay, Stephanie, do you have a question, Stephanie?
I think she needs
Stephanie?
to.
Yeah.
She needs. Okay, you tries to add Stephanie.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, Christina's is still there. Okay. So Christina's still there, but the thing is like,
Never mind lah, like you stop.
Okay. We stopped Stephanie first. Okay, now Christina, if you're still there, okay, now I will go through randomly with my finger through this card itself. Now, you can actually type stop whenever you feel like it. Then that will be the card that we pick for you. Okay, Christina, if you are listening, all right, when you're ready, can you please type stop? Hi, Sally. You're in Nanjing. Are you in the excursion? I saw a lot of pictures on the excursions itself, okay? it's really nice, especially the colors itself in like yellow. Christina, are you there? Can you please say stop if you're there? Because we are going through the deck for you.
Yep, stop reading.
Stop ready, right?
Mm,
Okay. All right. So, okay. Now, this is the card that we got for you, Christina Slan. I'm not sure what is your questions while scrolling for your questions itself, right?
This one.
Now, you got unity. Now, unity itself, okay,
Struggle.
generally unity means, right, okay, you have to probably check into the relationships between you and the people or what we mean the co-workers that you're working together with, okay, in your working environment. All right. Is everyone in your immediate working environment itself like really having the same, how to say, visions or the same heart towards working out something out? Or probably it's like, no, a lot of times the co-workers or the people or the colleagues that together with you, the chances is the issues with the whole situations is unity. It means that no unison has been like achieved. Okay, that could be one of the things. Now, of course, Wai Lun can actually read out the descriptions, okay, in the book roughly lah. You don't have to read out everything. Probably just tell like the meaning from the book itself. Because you see, normally when we read the card itself, right, we don't just read by the book. We also read by the whole card itself. Okay, Wai Lun 呢，我們講呢個。
係 unity 係嘛？
係啱。
So basically, actually, recent here we are used to deal with
Wait,
metal.
is it the sound is
It
bad?
sounds weird. It sounds like you're talking on the phone now.
Is it because just now we put
I-
the video?
Is it better now?
Is it better now?
Testing. Because I'm going to do the reading here.
We can still hear you, but it sounds like you're speaking on the phone. It's
Oh.
kind of strange.
Or
So maybe just speak a bit louder first.
Okay.
Okay, but this is will it like affects the
No.
echo? Is it better? No. Okay, that's good.
So
So
no means it's not any better. Means right? It's still the. It's
I
still the
can
same.
hear it here also.
Okay. All right. So I don't know how to go about with this.
anyone wants to comment whether is the sound is still very echoey?
I don't think you should read out the whole thing
Mm.
just on a brief
Brief.
description because it's too long. Anyway, you read out so they will understand. Okay. So basically, right, okay, Christina's now, unity means, okay, you have to give us feedback here. The chances you have to look into the relationship and the people that you're working together with. Because the possibilities is, when I see this card, right, okay, it could be like the struggle or whatsoever that you having in work itself might not necessarily be like relating to the work or the things that you are working on. Okay, right? Because it has a lot to do also with like your relationship with the people in your immediate environment. What about how are you communicating with your co-workers? How are you communicating with your superiors and all that? Because unity means, right, there are two possibilities. It's either people-to-people relationship in your immediate working environment itself is not in unison, or the thing is, whatever that you are doing is not in unison with your heart. Okay, are you actually holding your heart voice as the top priority, or are you doing a job merely because out of like other factors? Are you holding truth to your to the callings of your internal voice? Okay, because unity means, right, everything that how to say appears in unity means in our body itself. Whatever we say, whatever we do, and whatever we feel needs to be exactly aligned. That is what we call unity. But there are sometimes a lot of people, right, we say, we do, and we feel are greatly misaligned. So when we do that, we will never reach happiness. All right? So in your current situations itself, right, certain things in your current life now, in terms of your work, has been misaligned. So you have to greatly ask yourself, whatever job that you're currently working on, is it really something that you truly want to work on? Or is it something due to circumstances that somehow you feel that you have no choice, quote unquote, because I always believe everyone has a choice, all right, that you think that you have to stick onto the job?
Okay, so I just give a quick summary on what is written here. So a few keywords is that usually we will do things at our own comfort level, and also treating people in a way that we think is happy. So that also creates a very self-centered of ourselves, and that will actually lead to make us a weaker person. So another thing is you might want to look into communicate and stop worrying about how to make friends or how to please other people. And the last one will be maybe wanted to learn also to learn how to understand other people and cooperate with a better teamwork.
Okay, so it's like you see, every time when we look at the card, right? Okay, there's always yin and yang ways to look into it, right? Means that yin and yang can be also be depicted as in like as within, so without. Whatever that's happening outside, okay, it's also something that's happening inside. If you see a lot of chaos outside, if you see a lot of like misalignment outside, it also means that there are a lot of chaos or misalignment going inside of us. Okay, so unity says that this misalignment needs to actually be like how to say be looked into. Okay, right? It needs to be looked into, and it is something that you need to work on. All right, it means by the first thing is listen to your heart. Is it exactly what you want inside you? Okay, all right. So
okay, and I think the last sentence here summarize what is unity. So unity is a spirit where we have to give in love and strength to work together to create hope for the future.
係，因為咧，其實好似師傅講嘅啦，好多時候咧，我哋 unity， 我哋就以為係對外，我哋要同人合作啦，我哋要同人去和諧相處啦。其實 unity 咧，仲有另外一個深層嘅意思嘅喎，就係你自己本身嘅諗法同埋你嘅心有冇一致啊？OK， 因為如果你嘅心同你嘅諗法係分開嘅話咧，咁其實你係好難同外界咧去一齊去合作嘅，因為你自己本身都冇同你自己嘅想法同埋你嘅心合作，所以咧咁樣就會令到你喺工作上邊咧就會出現咗好多嘅問題㗎啦。OK。
Okay, so hope that answer your question, Christina. So do we have any more questions? I just see like the message keep coming out. But I hope I didn't miss any of your questions here. I will try to actually relate to it. If you have any questions, just ask. Okay, we will try to. We will try to answer as much as possible. If you don't mind staying with us until quite late at night, I don't mind either. It's my house. It's only thing呢兩個
我下次攞衫呢度。
Yeah, no, I know here. I don't have to come here at night.
Okay, Mitra 其實有問咧 ，How can I conquer my fear feelings to study metaphysics?
Okay, so Mitra have questions to ask. So we will now. First thing is make sure that Mitra is still there, tuning in. Is Mitra you still there?
咁Stephanie 好似都未問問題係嘛？
但我好肯定咧。GHK 咧係好想我哋答佢問題啊！
會嘅，GHK 但係呢個問題好 detail。Okay, Mitra, if you're still there, all right, can you please just say stop, okay, whenever you feel like it. So I'll just go through the very strong stop 你哋同我講啦嚇。I'll just go through the card until you feel like it. You just say stop, and I'll pick that card out 啊。So I go through.
So Mitra， 如果你 ready 咗嘅話咧，你就同我哋講咯
喎。Yeah. So whenever you're ready, you just say stop.
唔係嘅話，師傅就一直喺度揀下。
所以基本上咧 ，Mitra 係問去對嗰個即係玄學佢嘅 fear 去擔心，即係點樣去繼續學更加好嘅嗰個玄學咯。
Mitra 師傅，我仲未知道幾時我 stop。
Are you trying to train my finger?
Stop.
Oh.
Alright. Why are you getting the same card?
嗱，咁我覺得應該都唔係太過需要去解釋㗎啦，因為咧，其實好多時候，如果 Mitra 你想去做一樣嘢咧 ，especially 你講玄學咧，係你中意嘅一樣嘢嘅話咧，咁你就去放膽去做，因為你依家咧最驚嘅一樣嘢就係你自己本身咧驚人哋點睇你啦，同埋但係你自己心入邊又想去做呢樣嘢喎，所以你就冇unity咗啦。
Mitra needs to be in English.
Okay, Mitra. Okay,
okay, all right. Now, you see, when you got the same card, I see out of like so many cards, and you're like, did you shuffle the card?
Yes, I
you shuffled the card, and you got the same card out. So like this one is to save our time, okay? To actually relate it back to you, because you see, when you get unity, right? Just now I've mentioned, your mind, your action, and your heart needs to be aligned. So you see, when you think about doing something, and yet you realize you have fear of doing that thing, means very obviously you are not aligned, okay? Because when it's aligned, then you shouldn't have fear, all right? So, like, why do you still have that fear inside you, even though your mind have decided that you want to go forward towards something? So, firstly, you must diminish that fear first.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is definitely fear, and fear arises in a way of either self-value or self-confidence. Okay, a lot of times, right, people sometimes, right, no, we have fear is because our self-worth is not there. That's why we have fear. So a lot of times, right, probably Mitra, they might be, or it could be a possibility that subconsciously inside you, consciously you might be very confident, you know you can do it, but there's still a small little voice subconsciously inside you that you still doubt your own ability. Stop doubting it. Instead of using your energy to doubt your own ability, use the same amount of energy to progress further, to make yourself better, to improve on yourself, so that no doubts can even have a chance to appear in your life to self-doubt yourself. I hope I answer your questions. All right, because if you get this, it's like it's so obvious. It means that why is it even you are allowing your mind and your heart and your actions into misalignment?
So 師傅就講到啦，如果點解阿 Mitra 咁擔心我踏前嗰一步咧，去做佢想做嘅嘢？如果你真係攞到呢張卡嘅話咧，即係話你嘅心、你嘅mind 同埋你嘅行動一定愛一致咯。如果你係唔一致嘅話，即係可能心想做啦，但係又冇行動嘅，又驚啦，咁你就會驚咯。because 你係唔一致噶嘛，你自己本身入邊心入邊係唔一致嘅。
Now, of course, Stephanie also have a question here, right? Now, most of the in-depth questions, right, it needs to be answered with an in-depth tool. Remember just now we talked about Oracle and we talked about like Tarot. Now, Tarot is the one that actually helps you to go into the in-depth details. Like the questions that JHK have asked and even Stephanie asked, right, okay, all these are supposed to be a very in-depth, detailed question. So we need the tarot cards, okay? But today, since we are promoting this, we will try to use this deck itself to see as much as possible what are the emotional obstacles that is actually hindering the progress of your issues now, all right? But of course, we will allocate probably another session next time, all right? Okay, next week or the week after next, we will dedicate a lot of sessions into all this like Oracle, Tarot. Probably by next week, we can actually open up another sessions that focus on the Tarot. Or maybe one of the days we can open up another session that like focus on Team, the I Ching and 64 divination.
Or maybe
have,
some
like,
true love.
yeah, we also have like a lot of decks here. We have a lot of decks to play with. So we have a lot of time to play with you as well, okay? So now we answer Stephanie's question.
Stephanie 嘅問題係幾時喎？
No, we will see first, okay?
嗱 ，Stephanie，如果你 ready 咗嘅話，你就講 stop 啊。
Stephanie, if you're ready, you can actually say stop, Stephanie, are you still there? I wonder, it's like sometimes it's like, is it
Stop,
really like,
stop.
oh, okay, stop. Please
Still
tell me
wait,
it's the
yeah.
same one. Oh, it's different. Okay, so this card, she got this card as in self-disguise. I think someone needs to hold it near to the camera so that they hold it still there for a while so that at least they can, you can screenshot it and share it so that you can still refer it back. Someone screenshot, okay, and share it back on the comments, okay, so you can. Now, you see the thing is, I never like to actually refer to the book, okay? The referring to the book one is actually for you when you do it at home, okay, and you read yourself. Now, to me, it's like when you really want to do a reading itself, right? Okay, I always believe that just read it whenever you see the card, because the card itself there's a certain symbols, colors, and motifs and all these things, right? Or even the words itself will tell you what is exactly the issue. Now, this card itself, right? Okay, now you are asking me how soon could I settle the existing main issues in sibling wrongdoing since few years ago, right? As soon as all among you in the siblings stop self-disguising yourself. Means 唔使做戲嘅, okay? As long as everyone in the family itself stop pretending, stop putting on a mask, stop thinking that have to be nice or thinking about what is right versus what is wrong, and start speaking up your heart. Once this can be achieved, the issues will be resolved. Because what we see here is self-disguise means a lot of things still happening within the family or siblings itself, right? It's all putting up a mask. Even though it's siblings, but siblings itself are supposedly to be like whole open. It's supposed to be very open, very true, because like in a way you all grew up with each other, you all know each other since like almost like young from birth. Like these are the first people that you know in this lifetime. But and yet when you got this card means among the family itself, right? There are still a lot of disguise going on. There are still a lot of masks going on, putting on a mask, people pretending, people like being untruthful towards things. Okay, so if this cannot be resolved, the outcome cannot be resolved. Okay, now until the truth is shown, okay, or the truth is revealed, and the ego is removed. Now wearing a mask can also means your ego is in the way. So until this has been removed, the issues will not actually be resolved. Okay. Now, if you really try to actually look into the time factor, let me see here. There's any possibilities to see the self-disguise. Now, self-disguise here is actually
so 正話師傅就有講咯。好多時候咧，我哋同我哋嘅即係兄弟姊妹咧，即係有偽裝咯。So 好多時候我哋真係愛審誠對待each other啦。
因為好多好似我哋師傅講噶啦，我哋同我哋嘅兄弟姊妹咧，其實係由細玩到大嘅。咁點解你愛用一個面具咁樣去對佢咧？意思話你唔係太過 open heart 啊，唔係太過打開你嘅心去真係去面對。
即係用個真情嚟面對大家咯。如果真係嗰個心係唔打開嘅話，好多時候咁嘅即係問題係唔到嘅。
Now, I found that the self-disguise descriptions on page 40. So the number that relates to it is 40. Okay, so 40 relates down to a single digit of 4. It can be as fast as 4 hours, 4 days, 4 weeks, 4 months, 4 years. Okay, so if you really ask about a specific time frame, it will be within those timing itself. Okay, but again, as long as everyone is still wearing the ego mask to actually face each other, right? Okay. The thing itself will not be resolved. Or even though if you think that it has been resolved, it's only a temporary thing. It is not a long-term thing.
即係會唔會大家太顧面子或者係太顧尊嚴？
啱，因為多都係響 tarot 嘅 perspective 嘅話係 emperor 嘛，就係皇帝啦。所以皇帝你睇到佢成個嗰個保護層啊，同埋佢成座山咁樣啊，其實可以知道咧，其實你哋響你哋兄弟姊妹嘅面前咧係放唔低你哋呢個 ego 啦，或者嘅面子啦，所以你就覺得好難去解決呢個問題。
Yeah, and then somehow someone has got to start it first. Okay, I don't know how many siblings are involved. Okay, so if you're one of them, I would suggest that at least you try putting down your own armor or putting down your own mask itself and try to reach out and touch each other's heart genuinely first. So there could be possibilities of resolving the whole issues.
會唔會係有成見啊 perceptions that they are actually holding on to and
it could be anything that leads out from the ego 咯。
It can be too protective as well.
Or branch out from the ego.
Okay, 慧倫都係有一個 questions.
Okay.
Okay, 佢講 same is true with Christina. Lost passion in the current work.
Alright.
But
now,
actually,
the thing is, Vailuna, is here. When you ask me questions like this, right, I don't even need to actually open the card for you. Right? One thing is, if you have lost passion in your current work itself, like, why should you continue? You know what? Whenever our heart is not there for certain people or certain thing or certain work, right, and we choose to continue on, okay, based on whatever circumstances that you can think out, or reasons that you can think out for yourself, right, you are self-betraying yourself. Okay, you are self-sabotaging yourself. So when you start to self-betray or self-sabotage yourself, that is when a lot of external issues that you will see surrounding you, that people will start self-sabotaging you, or people will start sabotaging you. So if I would questions like this, right, honestly, I don't even need to open the card. I will just ask you, if you really think that your passion is no longer there, firstly ask yourself, why is it no longer there first? Is it in the first place, okay, right? Is this really something that you've always wanted to do? Or is it something that someone else pushes you towards it? Or is it that lost passions is due to sometimes we lost passions due to our own denial in things. It's because that at first we are really passionate into it, but somehow when we go into it, there are certain obstacles in our work itself that somehow hinders us from showing progress. When we are not progressing for a while, suddenly we thought that we lost passion. That's not true feeling, There's a feeling from the ego to tell us that, oh, it is very memalukan, how to say, it's shameful that we are not progressing after we entered for so long this line. So immediately our ego will tell us this is not for us. Please lose your passion. Tell people that you have lost passion, so it's not because you're not progressing, it's just because you have lost the passion. If that is the case, right, it means that we have been played out by our ego. Okay, so if you really ask yourself, all this while you're very, very passionate about it, and suddenly you find that you have lost passion, why? Okay, why is it suddenly you've lost passion? Is it that throughout maybe the years or the month that you've been working in it, there isn't any progress? If there isn't any progress, that now subsequently you think that you have lost passion, ask yourself, why aren't there any progress in the years before? Okay, so if you ask yourself enough of these questions, you'll be able to find the answer.
But
Alright.
if let's say Wei Lun is so confused, he cannot find the answer why. Can he actually try to get an answer from the oracle?
You can, but the thing is, okay, now you see, like, first thing is you said you have lost the passion, but you see, everyone will be able to find the answer why within ourselves. Okay, no one knows ourselves more than ourselves. The thing is, a lot of times, or all the time, I can safely say we confuse ourselves. We ourselves confuse ourselves. So, Wei Lun, if you really want to, I don't mind picking a card for you. Okay, alright. 係都要睇多張牌，睇多張牌啦。你有 supporter 喺度嘅。These two are like your like like your lawyers like that, No.
So Wei Lun, if you say want to stop, then just stop, okay?
It's like, how come it's not fair? How come Wei Lun don't deserve to open the card? Okay, I open the card for you, Wei Lun. Okay. Okay means
okay, and okay for you to say stop,
Okay means stop, is it?
喂，你冇聽先喎，係咪？
我攞咗啦 ，OK 就係攞咗。OK， so 維倫嘅 breakthrough 啊，維倫。
Oh, this is 你最中意你
breakthrough. Now, when this card itself says breakthrough, remember breakthrough among the petals, it means growth, okay? Breakthrough means growth. It means that now currently, all right? Now, whatever the reason that you have stopped passion, okay? So that one for you to think about of what I've explained earlier on. So now the card says that it is time for you to grow, okay? Either, let's say for instance, if you have lost passion on your previous job, what will be your new passion? What are the things that you truly want to grow? Because breakthrough means to toy with what? Means the chances is it could be now suggesting you to actually go into a totally new thing, to rebirth, to reborn yourself. Okay, so it can be a new passion, a new job, or in fact a new career. Yeah.
But if I look at it as a, let's say it's a fetus or it's a baby, could it be like, asking him to actually look back inside him where actually the passion lies within at the very initial stage, at the very original time?
Yeah, because 呢度咧佢講咧，you must tolerant, honest, and have the courage to observe yourself. Okay, because breakthrough this journey, we will face our painful experience. Okay， 點解咧？好似我哋講嘅，你我生出嚟好似一個 mother， 我生一個 baby 出嚟咧。
Oh, trust me, it's very painful.
你都生過4個啦。
其他嗰啲係掘嘅。
啱啊，所以其實你知道咧，如果你真係話去 breakthrough 呢個嘢咧，因為你講你 lost passion，所以好似師傅講嘅 ，ask yourself what, how and why you lost passion. Okay, be honest and have courage to 真係去 breakthrough 呢樣嘢。
Yeah. Okay. As I say, because a lot of times, right, remember, when we go all through all these things, right, it is like all these tools is actually helping us to look into our subconscious, and the subconscious is also where the ego stays, right? Our ego actually stays in our subconscious. So the thing is, a lot of times, right, we have to actually battle with the ego and ask ourselves, okay, now a lot of times people can come up easily with like, oh, I've lost passion into my work, I've lost passion into doing this, I've lost passion into doing that. But this losing passion into doing something can be, how to say, Angkara buruk, how to say Angkara buruk? It's like, I'm Malaysian. Okay? Angkara buruk means, how to say that? It's the evil doing of our ego. Okay, it's like somehow we are not realizing it, but the ego, in order to protect ourselves, right? Okay, they come up with all sorts of nonsense excuses to tell us that it's fine. Okay, you can't do this because you have lost passion. That's it. Okay, so these things is something that we need to break through as well, because sometimes it's not really the lost passion. It's just that maybe certain part of us is not fully grown yet. certain part of us is like we have not really developed. We have not really learned enough to be good enough at it. That's why we decided to give up in order to feel shame or like, you know, or being like, how to say, being judged by other people. So Wai Lun, probably Wei Lun. Okay, so Wei Lun, probably you will really want to look into yourself and see like which part of you that needed that breakthrough. And the breakthrough itself, it can be painful. Most breakthroughs are painful. Okay, so it's like it can be a painful thing. Do not be afraid of it. Look into it and truly ask yourself, it's like, if you have lost passion on the things that you've been doing before this, then what will be your new passion in? Alright? So if you can genuinely and honestly answer yourself the questions, probably then it is time for you to grow the new passion.
咁即係我好誠實嘅咁面對自己，誒咧擺低嗰啲成見啊，或者係自尊啊，佢真係去諗清楚究竟愛點去活，愛點去轉變啊。
啱啦，就係第一個字就係愛誠實啦，即係我對自己嘅心誠實啦。Okay.
Sharon actually asked, right, see, can we just open Oracle card without any specific questions just to find out our current emotion? Yes, you don't have to ask questions. In fact, when you buy the deck of cards and you come to our closed Facebook tutorial class itself with the deck of cards, right, we will teach you how to actually just pick a card without asking questions. I always say, because I always tell my students, if you want to be a tarot reader or an oracle reader and you have to ask a question beforehand, then you are not really like, you know, the most satisfying, like I would say, not really the most satisfying tarot reader. To me, right, the most satisfying situations or a moment is when my clients sit down in front of me, I just ask them to pick the card and I tell them what's their problem. They don't need to tell me what's their problem. Now, that is a moment where it is most satisfying. And I know both of them, including a lot of my students, are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
因為點解咧？永遠相信就好似師傅頭先講嘅，我哋 pick 嘅 card 咧係 because of our subconscious mind，就係我哋嘅潛意識。其實你嘅潛意識已經講晒所有嘅嘢俾我哋聽㗎啦，我哋唔需要去再 further 去問嗰個 questions。咁點解今日我哋要問你問題咧？係因為我哋要慳時間，同埋去知道去快啊，盡快。
最重要係我哋去解邊個時間。
Now, Christina, you have another question. I'm so sorry. In fact, today's session itself, we have way past. You see, we have our Mr. Director over here, right? There's like keep on pointing onto the time. It's like time's up, okay? All right. Now, I'm very sorry that I would really love to attend to all your questions. Now, remember, we're on Facebook Live every Tuesday night, okay? And since if this is a topic that you guys like, okay, I have most probably and most likely next week also, we will continue on with this topic. So, Christina, remember, keep your questions onto next week. We will continue on with answering questions as much as possible. Now, during the Facebook Live, I already see Facebook private messages coming into my account. Okay? I'm sorry to say, it's like really all these private messages, it's like I cannot attend to them because it's like it will take up a lot of my time and it makes me very stressful. Right? So I will only answer questions during the Facebook Live. Okay, if I answer your questions this week, it is good enough. If I have not answered your questions this week, follow us next week. Okay, eventually we will get it answered. All right, so first come first serve. Okay, if you can tune in like Lucky Miu Miu and Stephanie, okay, then I'm sure.
Lucky Miu had a question earlier on.
Oh, Lucky Miu had a question.
So shall we finish with two
I
questions?
think you answered.
One is JH and one is
JH 11.
Oh, okay.
So we finish with the last two.
Alright, wow, okay. Lucky Miu has a question. Sorry, I missed that question. Okay, now I see it. Like Lucky Miu said that I would like to know how soon will I come out from the emotional turmoil and also financial turbulence that I have been going through for some time. Okay.
So
We will still use our now. I will say that all these questions, all the detailed questions, right? Okay, ask it when we go into a tarot reading, okay, or a tarot consult or tarot reading, because it's like, let's say for instance, if next week we go into a tarot deck, right, it will be better for you to ask these questions because it's very detailed. Now I'll try my best. Lucky Miu Miu, are you still there? First thing is I have to make sure Lucky Miu Miu whether she's still there or not. If you're still there, please answer us.
Yes,
and ask us to say stop.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Director.
Okay.
Mr. Director also got thank. Okay. All right. You say
Yeah.
stop whenever you're ready.
嗱，我哋睇緊 Lucky
Yeah,
Miu Miu
so
有冇
sorry
講
because it's like so many like messages and now sometimes I will just really miss out your questions and your message. That's why like Wai Lun, Brian and also our Mr. Director there is like very handy and very helpful. Lucky Lucky Moon, are you ready to say stop?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, alright. Alright, so we got. Now, this is your card, and it says bad habit, Lucky. Bad habit. Okay, so your question is, I would like to know how soon will I come out from the emotional turmoil and also financial turbulence that I have been going through for some time. You know why you've been going through all these things for some time? The card answers you. You can't see, you see one more time. Okay, it says there, bad habit. Okay, and you see it depicts a photo of a girl drowning into the deep sea. Okay, all right, with a chain tied up onto her legs. Okay, it means that, all right, Lucky Miu Miu, from this card itself, right? Okay, it already answers your questions. You have to ask yourself now. Okay, even though you say financial issues, even though you say emotional turmoil, but are you doing it to yourself? Okay, it means that probably now, example is people say, oh, you know, I have these financial issues and all that. Then the next moment is like, okay, I spend first. Okay, I eat first, I travel first, I do this first, I use first. Okay, then after that they will complain again about financial issues.
You know me too well. No, you know yourself too well. You pick this card, okay?
Alright, so it's like Lucky. This is the card you pick, okay? Alright, you say stop, I put it out for you. It's so obvious. So you see, how soon can you get out from it? The soonest as you get rid of your bad habit. And this bad habit is, again, you're drowning yourself into the sea, you know. And sea, we call it the sea of emotion. Means, right, okay, the emotional turmoil that you're going into means you choose yourself to be in that drama one. Alright? Because this is like a self-punishment sort of a card. So Lucky Miu Miu, you have to remind yourself, all the drama surrounding you, all the emotional things that going on or surrounding you has nothing to do with you. You no longer belong there. Step out
I shall
from that.
see the truth again.
Okay, I shall see you again. Oh, by the way, I met Lucky Miu Miu the very first time we were on a cruise together in Hokkaido. It was such a lovely time. I don't even know her. We were like we were just talking, and then after that, we become like, you know, she become my client, and after that, we become friends, and yeah, she's been following like me all this while. Okay.
Okay, Lucky Miu Miu，你就唔好自己買咗一本咧嘅嘢，咁喺度抽你想聽嗰個 answer 噶咯喎。
Okay, so 我哋
仲有一個
JH，但 JH 我已經開唔翻上嚟。
開唔翻上嚟，
因為太多。
有咩理由去頭一個問 question 你先先？係。
Okay, JH, what is your questions again? Can you retype?
I will find the questions.
就
佢可能 delete 咗。
我碌唔到。
係啦，
Probably he deleted, okay, and then he will think like, okay, next session, then he will ask. But JH has already sent me, okay, he said, I want to start a business. How can I find ways to get the capital, noblemen, mentors, and guidance out? Honestly, JH, to be honest, this question itself is best to use tarot to answer. So this one temporarily I answer here first. But JH, are you still with us? I already saw JH private message me. You want to buy the oracle deck. Okay, JH, you just have to contact Tracy with the numbers that we have shared. Later, I can share it with you again. But at the meantime, if you're still there, can you please say stop?
If not, 師傅一直會喺度抽㗎啦。Yes.
Okay, alright, so this will be the card for JH. Let's see. Now, this is only temporary because yours is a very detailed questions, okay? Alright, so this card might not be able to answer your questions in detail, right? So remember, next week when we're doing the tarot reading, I will give you a priority if you tune in with us to actually get your questions answered first. Okay, so now, okay, I want to start a business. How can I find ways to get the capital, noblemen, mentors, and guidance? And the card that he got is anger. Alright, the card that he got is anger. Okay. Now, the thing is like, no, how can this card, anger, relates to the questions that he asks, okay? His question is about like starting a business. How can I find ways to get the capital, noblemen, mentors, and also guidance, okay? So here is anger. So the thing is now, to answer all the house itself, we need a detailed system to answer that. So that one I will go into the tarot system. What I see here is that anger is something to do with impulse. It's something to do with like immediate effect. It's something to do with like no 冲动性, okay?
Passionate.
Okay? It can be very passionate about things, but on the flip side itself, it can be sudden,
Aggressive.
like aggressive or 冲动, okay? So now, JH, one thing that probably you want to ask yourself now is like the business that you wanted to start on, okay? Is it a business? First thing is it something out of like a sudden spur of emotion? 會唔會因為一時衝動 then only you think that, okay, I no longer want to work with others, I want to do a business on my own, okay? Is it based on that, okay? Or is it really based on like true passion that you have? Okay, now what I see here is, okay, anger here also you can see, right? Okay, this photo is like a girl. The whole picture itself is very red, so fiery, fire element is very strong. And you see that on the dress and the head of this particular lady itself is full of roses. Okay, it's full of roses. Now, roses is what we call of like attachment. Roses is attachment. Now, it means that whatever business that you actually wanted to start on itself, right, you need to be truly, truly attached to it. Attached means right now, a lot of people think that attachment is bad, okay? Attachment is not good, especially when it talks about like religious, Buddhism teachings and all these things. They say attachment is not a good thing because it makes us suffer. Now, when it comes to a business context, this is different. When you want to do a business, attachment is very, very important. If you do not have attachment, basically you can't really do a very, very successful business. Because business is about attachment. Business is about attachment to money. Business is about attachment to fame or to success, to power. Okay?
Commitment to
Yeah,
time
to
and
commitment.
effort.
All this is all about attachment. So if you do not have attachment, the chances is it's very difficult for you to build a really successful business. Okay? Alright? So for you, JH, probably you want to ask yourself, do you have that attachment within you?
Okay, beside that, you also see like some butterfly there. So it also means that you need to have a lot of like changes, a lot of different ideas, transformation, and so on. Okay, so what is the difference compared with other? Okay, 你有咩特別？你比起其他人，你嘅 business 有咩特別嘅？譬如話，好似你講你想開 cafe，咁你人哋又係開 cafe，咁你又係開 cafe，咁有乜嘢特別？你有咩 transformation？有咩唔同嘅嘢？所以呢個係你要去 plan 嘅。So 有幾樣嘢你要注意㗎啦。Whether 你係做呢個 business 咧，係咪一時衝動，因為 anger 嚟嘅，一下就嚟嘅，或者係你已經 well plan 咗，同埋就算你 well plan 咗之後咧，你要諗一下，你有咩嘢地方咧係同人哋有唔同嘅嘢嘅。OK，
你會唔會係真係3分鐘熱度啊？或者係你係咪有準備去放嗰個心機，同埋放嗰個時間，同埋放嗰個
所有 commitment。
Okay, because like Jay say, you lay on money, like you know, in the say like you will start a business now. How to get a capital, nobleman, what sort of nobleman or mentor and guidance? That one we have to look into a more detailed system guidance too, which is the tarot deck. I think most probably 講到咁樣樣啦 chances next week 嘅 topic 應該係 tarot 咗。Okay, so we will actually save up the more detailed questions until next week itself. Again, before we end up these sessions, okay, we want to recap the whole thing. I know some of you have just joined us, you have no idea what's going on here, right? Today we talked about like, you know, the system between tarot and oracle, the differences between this divination or oracle tools itself, and also we talk about the promotion that we are having for my own personal awakening oracle deck. Okay, outside we're selling for $129.90. Okay, for today and this week onwards, just right before up to before the close tutorial that is going to happen, we are going to sell this for 88 ringgit. So 88 ringgit for this deck itself, but you have to self-collect in our office in Mid Valley. So you can contact, okay, either send an email to contact@soleiltrinity.com, or you can call into our office or our mobile number. It has all been shared in the comment. Okay, so later we will pin those comments so that it appears on top and you can refer to it. So once you have ordered and once you have made the payment, go and collect this deck in our office itself, and we will register you into a private Facebook closed group. In this closed group itself is where we're going to have a tutorial. It will be in the daytime, all right? Where we have a tutorial between 2 hours to 3 hours, it depends, okay? For us to teach you how to use this deck itself. Okay, so you will learn how to use the deck to do, to do oracle reading for yourself or even your friends or the people around you. Okay, so that will be the promotion for tonight itself. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us. I know that tonight I've taken a lot of your time. What time is it?
And
now?
wait, I think
Nice.
one very important message is also why is this tarot deck so unique? Is because it actually reflects or it helps to get you the message on the dark side of your actually emotions and feelings.
And your inner self as well.
Yeah, so that will actually gives you a light, gives you a message that is that you might be actually facing, the problems that you might actually hurdles you from proceeding.
Yeah, okay. So once we have decided, probably it will be either a public holiday or a weekend. Once we have decided on the date itself for us to do the Facebook tutorial, we will announce it to the people who has purchased the deck itself. Okay. So remember, so if you're really interested to actually get into that Facebook tutorial group itself, please do join us. Okay, and purchase this deck, and we will see you then, or we will see you next week with more explanations into different decks of cards. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right.
Okay.
And anything else? Anything else I've missed
More.
out? Okay. And remember, those of you, Mitra, if you're there, those of you attending the party class end of this month itself, please come in prepared. Means you have to remember all the relationships between the heavenly stems and the earthly branches.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
Okay. Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.
Bye.